What is up, guys, and welcome to Q&A, the show where I take your questions from Twitter and YouTube and answer them here in video format in the show. And we're going to talk a lot about Odell slapping some dudes' booty cheeks today. So, if that's what you like, hey, you're going to hear a lot about Odell clapping some cheeks. And the first question is from Dooms Games, who says, should we trade Odell? And yes, this is 2020. This is the year in which we are talking about Odell Beckham slapping some dude, some security guard's butt cheeks because he was way too drunk and way too happy after LSU won that national championship. Now, if it sounds like I'm not taking this situation that seriously, it's because I'm not taking the situation that seriously. He slapped the man's butt cheeks because he was drunk. And, dude was goofing, dude was on one, it happens. I've seen it happen before. I've seen much worse happen in those situations and was nervous that a lot worse could have happened for OBJ in that situation, and it didn't. The worst thing that happened was he's going to get a ticket, he's going to pay a fine, maybe show up in court for a day and, and pay like a $2,000 fine for slapping old dude's butt cheeks. So, that is what it is. Now, should the Browns trade him because of that? No, he's your best wide receiver. That's stupid. Don't trade. Why? His value's not great right now, so you're not going to get anything out of it. And this isn't Antonio Brown level scandal, which, by the way, Antonio Brown recently has done much worse. Julian Edelman has done something on the level of this stupid, and nobody is giving press to those situations. The Antonio Brown one actually should have more press because that's actually concerning, but he doesn't have a team, so maybe that's the excuse. Julian Edelman, same level of mistake that OBJ made, both stupid mistakes. Nobody's making excuses for either guy, but I'm not about to sit here and finger wag at Julian Edelman and act like I'm his dad, just the same way I'm not about to finger wag at Odell Beckham. Ain't a big deal. Slap the man's butt cheeks. Happens. Don't do it again, Odell, I guess. Just everybody calm down. This isn't a reason to trade OBJ. Come on. We are smarter than that, I would hope, to think we have to trade Odell because he smacked a security guard's butt cheeks because he got mad that he told his friend to get rid of a cigar. Come on now. Come on. The people on this team, on the Cleveland Browns, the things they have done. We are not releasing Myles Garrett for smashing a helmet on Mason Rudolph. Why in the world would we release OBJ or trade OBJ for slapping some butt cheeks? Man, come on now. Come on. Let's be better than that, Cleveland. The next question comes from Stuart Tyler, 1992. He says, what in the world was going on with Odell? He made some really stupid decisions. Okay, look. Yes, what OBJ did over this weekend is undoubtedly stupid. The whole stunting, giving the money to the wide receivers, they're all going to graduate and they can get out of that trouble. Ain't no big deal what he did there. Nobody's really going to get any real trouble because of what OBJ did with the whole money thing. And then when we go to OBJ in the locker room smacking the dude's butt cheeks, okay, these are all results of Odell probably having a rough season, having to deal with a lot of frustrations, dealing with Freddie Kitchens, not being able to really come out with that frustration. He probably bottled it all up, and he saw this national championship in New Orleans as his opportunity to let loose, and I think the man got too lit. Now, most of this audience is around that 18 to 25 to mid-30s range. I would assume that a lot of you guys in your 20s, or if you are in your 20s, had the moments where you've had a bad week or you had a bad year. And you know what? You just needed to let loose on one night and go and get messed up and, do whatever it is. I know I have done it on multiple occasions. So look, is it great character choices that OBJ made? No. Am I defending what he did? No. I would hope that he would have a better hold of his liquor next time and just a better hold of his attitude next time so he doesn't do something like this. But am I going to act like this is some kind of morally reprehensive thing that he did, or something that I wouldn't do, or something that a lot of people who are watching this video wouldn't do? No, I'm not about to be critical of that. That could be me, like, and I'm gonna just be honest, candid moment here. Let the Browns win the Super Bowl this year. I'm gonna be just like Odell Beckham, throwing out money, slapping security guards' butt cheeks, and just having a great time and probably getting arrested, because I have waited a long time for that moment, and that is OBJ going too far, being too much of a fan. Happens. Not a big deal. Not something that I'm not gonna, that I'm just gonna give him a complete pass on, but I'm not gonna be tripping about it. If he starts to behave like this in situations that aren't LSU winning the national championship, then I would be worried. If this is a pattern of behavior that shows he has a problem with alcohol, then I would be worried. But seeing as he has never had anything remotely suggest that might be a problem, I think this was probably a one-time thing. And I'm gonna let him enjoy his moment and enjoy his day. And he certainly enjoyed his day. So that is what it is. It's a one-day thing. Let the man celebrate his national championship. If Ohio State would have been in the Natty and won, I know a lot of you guys watching this video would have been Odell that night at some bar. So cut him some slack, people. The next question is from Simon the Dog, who says, after his sophomore slump, do you think Baker will break out for his third year? I certainly hope so. I think there's good reason to believe so. I think Baker is most certainly capable of breaking out in his third year. He has the tools around him. Hopefully he'll have a better offense. I'm crossing my fingers that the Browns bring in an experienced offensive coordinator to go with Kevin Stefanski, because I think that's what Baker needs most. I think he needs experience on that offensive assistant level. I think that's what he's been deprived of last year. So yes, I do think he's capable of having a breakout third year. I hope the Browns do their best to aid him in doing that, which means getting him some very qualified, very experienced assistants to help him along the way. The next question comes from Sam Young, who says, do you think Hollywood will actually get touches this year like he did in 2018? I don't know if Hollywood is going to be on the Browns this year. I certainly hope he can find a way to make an NFL roster. I think that's more or less the battle that he's on, unfortunately, since he kind of got shafted this year by the Cleveland Browns. So, if he chooses to come back, hopefully he can have a great year. Hopefully he can contribute just like he did in 2018. And if he doesn't, I still think he can probably carve out a solid career in the NFL as long as people want to use him in the right way. But that's just... But good question, Sam. The next question comes from Trashman70, who says, which of the sides of the lines do you think the Browns should upgrade first, offensive or defensive? This is an interesting question because the defensive line without Myles Garrett, we found out, was absolute doo. And the offensive line, while it is not great, is not absolute doo. I would say the defensive line is much worse if you take Myles Garrett out of the equation than the offensive line. But that being said, the defensive line has an anchor in Myles Garrett. They have a big dog in that way. The offensive line does not. Joe Bitonio kind of counts in that way, but he's not the left tackle. He's the left guard. It's not a real anchor position. Not to say he's not useful, but it would be more useful if he was an anchor left tackle, like Myles Garrett is an anchor end. So yeah, I would think the resources should go first to offensive lineman. All right, this next question comes from Giants Nation, who says, what's up, Quincy? I was wondering, is Cleveland a football or basketball city? I know the Cavs were big when you guys had LeBron, but the Browns are really popular. Which sport? It's undoubtedly football in Cleveland. It's a football city. Even when LeBron was winning championships and the Browns were winning one game in 2 years, it's always football. The Browns are this city. This city sees themselves as the Browns. While we appreciate LeBron, and we love the Cavs and we love the Indians, this team is a Browns. This city is a Browns town through and through. There is no doubt about that at all. But thanks for the question. The next one comes from Tori Sinclair, who says, with Stefanski's offense being what I consider a perfect fit for Baker Mayfield, do you think Stefanski should handle play calling duties or hand the responsibilities to an OC? I think Stefanski should not worry about the offense. I don't think the Browns hired him to be offensive coordinator like they did last year with Freddie Kitchens. I think they hired him because they honestly truly see qualities in him that are becoming of a leader, a CEO, in a head coach. I think that's why he was considered so strongly last year before he had this level of success as an offensive coordinator. And I think that's why he was hired this year. I think that's what they see him as. So I think that being the case, if you're Stefanski, knowing that's your strength, you should play to it. You should hire some strong coordinators on both sides of the ball with head coaching experience, preferably, that can help you learn the small things that Freddie Kitchens was not able to learn since he did not have experience on his staff, and use your leadership and your CEO abilities to kind of delegate between those two coordinators instead of trying to be it. He can find a coordinator that runs an offense that he likes. He's going to be the head coach. He's always going to have input on both sides of the ball. It's just how that works. But for the Browns and Kevin Stefanski's sake, I don't think they hired Kevin Stefanski to be an offensive coordinator or for his offense. I think they hired him because they found qualities of him as a man, as a coach, that they think are becoming of a head coach and that of a leader. And I think those were the things that were more important. And we'll see how that works out. But if that's the case, I don't expect him to kind of try to run the offense. And I don't want another first-year head coach trying to do that. The next question comes from Steve Chapo, who says, do you think they will drop Hunt to get a true fullback? I don't think you have to get rid of Hunt to do one or the other. I think you can have a fullback. I think, maybe you just get better, more blocking tight ends, and then you have one hybrid, and that's how you can make this space. I don't think you have to get rid of Hunt. I don't know if Hunt's going to be on this team. I don't think it depends on who they get as a GM, but if we're looking at analytics here, I don't think they're going to want to spend the extra money to keep two good running backs on the roster, because we know how numbers don't generally value running backs, let alone second running backs, that much. So I don't think Hunt's going to be on this team next year, unfortunately. This question comes from The N Gaming, who says, do you think the Browns should sign Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator? I think he's a heck of a coach and could help Stefanski run the team. Absolutely. I'm all for hiring coordinators with head coaching experience. I think that is severely what lacked last year with the Cleveland Browns. I think they didn't have coordinators with offensive experience. Freddie wanted to run a show on offense. And then defensively, they had Steve Wilkes, who did have 1 year as a head coach experience. But, 1 year, as we learned, is not enough to learn everything that he needed to know and everything that he could show to Freddie Kitchens. So I hope that they get somebody who's as experienced of coach and as a defensive coordinator as Wade Phillips. That would be a great get for the Cleveland Browns. This next question comes from Evo B, who says, would you move on from Vernon to use that $15 million no cap hit on a proven left tackle and to re-sign Joe Schobert? Do you think we should move on from Kirko since he hasn't played in the last 2 years? I think the Browns are going to move on from Christian Kirksey. I think they're not going to re-sign Joe Schobert. Now, if Andrew Berry comes back, he did kind of draft Joe Schobert, but for a completely different role than what he plays now. So they might value Joe more and re-sign him. But, it's kind of hard to answer those questions because Dorsey drafted replacements at middle linebacker in Taki and Mac Wilson. Now that Dorsey's out, it's up to whoever the new GM and the new defensive coordinator is to determine whether those two are still replacements for Christian Kirksey and Joe Schobert. I do think Kirksey's probably going to be gone. He's getting older, and his money is getting higher than his injury stability is. Joe Schobert is a big question mark. It really depends on what his number is, if he'll be brought back. But I think Vernon's definitely gone. I think Randall's definitely gone. I think they're going to clear a good amount of cap space this year and probably get some compensatory picks in the draft as well. We know how much the numbers love those. And the last question of the day comes from Joe Schmo, 102, who says, is there hope? Yes, there's hope. This team still has Baker Mayfield, if you believe in Baker Mayfield. This team still has Odell, still has Jarvis, still has Nick Chubb, still has Myles Garrett, still has all the names that tantalized you at the beginning of the season that you were so sure was going to win a lot of games. But then coaching, you could say, got in the way. they can get this thing right. Jacksonville, the first year that they put their whole thing together to make their run, they had a lot of hype. They were poop the year after that. But then the next year, they went to the AFC Championship, almost beat the Patriots, almost went to the Super Bowl. These things happen like that in football. Give it this year. I think the Browns are probably going to get double-digit wins this year. As negative as I've been about the Haslams, about the Browns, I have been steadfast that I believe this team's going to get double-digit wins next year. So yes, there is hope. There is a reason to look forward, and it's because as much dysfunction as going on in the building, the roster is still better than it's been in a very long time, and hopefully they can utilize that and they don't ruin that, because that is a lot of the heavy lifting that they have to do in order to get to a better place. But thank you guys for asking these questions. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section down below. But thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.